It's been cloudy and overcast here all day, but just as I sat down to record this, the sun decided to come out. So join me with a tasty beverage of your choice close to hand while we take a look at some new Hoyas and a mystery solved. And a few things before we get started, as usual. First up, thanks to all those people who took the time to respond to last week's question about what was your weird Hoya. And I appreciated the general feeling that it's a Hoya, any Hoya, it's going to be weird. But there were some fun stories and some great jokes, and so thank you very much. I appreciate that. And a big thank you goes out to Kasia, who sent me a super thanks this week, and to Anna and Amber, who each bought me coffees. You're probably tired of hearing me say it, but your support goes a long way to helping keep me in Hoyas and some other things now, and technology, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you much for your support. And before we get into the new stuff, I've got a bloomer, and this one is Hoya amicabilis, and it's blooming for its first time. And those blossoms are very, very cool. And there are 3 big peduncles. This hasn't been here very long. The leaves are just beautiful. And no, that's not sulfur on those leaves. That's just some splash. It's a gorgeous dark green color. For the underside people, there's what the underside of the leaves look like. Rather nondescript, but boy, I'm real happy with this one. Those blooms are just, they're very cool, unlike anything else I have. So I don't really detect any scent right now, but it's late afternoon. There may be something stronger in the evening. I'll try and remember to look at that and let you know. But yeah, this is very cool. This is Hoya amicabilis. This first one up, I have my doubts about it. This is Hoya species Garut. At least that's the name under which I bought it. It's a very thin-leafed Hoya with a very fine vine. I don't think this one's going to make it. I ordered it because the blooms are very, very pretty. This is my second time trying with this one. Now, species Garut, I'm not certain, but what I was able to find out is that it's from Indonesia, from Java, the province of West Java specifically, and the Garut Regency. And yeah, I'm just not sure about this one. I hope it's going to make it. What's going on there? What's going on there? Yeesh, I don't think it is. It's still green, still got some green to it, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But there's a little bit of mold on the stem. So yeah, I will probably try one more time with this one. Maybe from a different source, because I just have not had luck with this Hoya, which is odd. I can usually I don't have trouble with Hoyas rooting. So yeah, well, you don't win them all. And this is an example of one I probably am not going to win. Maybe I'll go in and give a little dab with some hydrogen peroxide and see if that'll take care of the issue, but I'm not hopeful. I'll keep you posted on this, and I will be on the hunt for another one. This is Hoya species Garut. This next one, you're going to think, oh, I know what that is. And you're kind of right. This is Hoya biruensis, not spartioides. But this was formerly known as species affinity spartioides, but it was published literally just weeks ago in the Nordic Journal of Botany by Michaela Roda and Sri Rahayu. Now, Biruensis is found in Indonesia in the province of Kalimantan, which is on the island of Borneo, and it was found at Bukit Biru in West Kalimantan. And Bukit means hill. So Biru Hill, hence the name Biruensis. Yeah, this came as a nicely rooted cutting in a really nice mix. And since its arrival, it has put out some new growth. I'll put in a close-up. It's kind of small, but I'm happy about it. And yeah, this one settled in with like no issues at all. I mean, that's new since it got here. So very happy about this. Yeah, and it's only been officially published. I mean, a lot of people probably have it under species affinity spartioides, but it's fun that it was just published a short time ago. So that's very cool. This one came from an anonymous private collector, and I'm really happy it's in the collection now. This is Hoya biruensis. And my next new kid on the block, boy, I've probably dated myself seriously with that, is Hoya leucantha. Now, Hoya leucantha is native to New Guinea. It was first collected in 1912, 1913 by Cecil Bowden Kloss in the Papua province of Indonesia on the island of New Guinea near the Utakwa River. And it was published in 1916 in Transactions of the Linnean Society of London by Spencer Le Marchant Moore. And the remarks on the herbarium sheet say New Guin, G-U-I-N. So yeah. And leucantha means white flowered, I am told. So this one is doing fairly well. I'm just looking to see if I have maybe, I can delude myself into what's roots. But this one, the leaves, that's very, very pretty. They're very neat. I love this growth pattern, which is why I ordered it. The leaves are firm, not rigid, but they're firm. They're sort of V-shaped. I think they sometimes call them boat leaves, but I don't know. Nice long lancet. The leaves on this one are about 2 3/4 inches, maybe around 6.5 centimeters, something like that. Yeah, the first two cuttings I got from another vendor did not do well, crashed and burned right away. This one, however, came and it was very healthy, very lush. It has settled right in. It's been here maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So, yeah, and it hasn't died. So we're happy about that. I think a bunch of arching branches of that would be very pretty with white flowers hanging underneath. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And waiting for it to happen. Are you listening? No pressure because you're new. We'll put pressure on you later when you're established. Yes, yes, we will. This one came from the Hoya Habit on Etsy, and this is Hoya leucantha. Another newbie is Hoya exilis. Now, Hoya exilis is native to New Guinea. It was first published in 1913 in Botanische Jahrbucher für Systematik, Pflanzengeschichte und Pflanzengeographie, Botanical Yearbooks for Systematics, Plant History and Plant Geography by Friedrich Richard Rudolf Schlechter. And the notes on the herbarium sheet say Nguyen, so New Guinea. And exilis is supposed, in Latin, means thin, small, or meager. And I think thin is going to be the the one we go with on this. So I've been looking around for this for a very long time, and it was very expensive whenever I saw it. So when I was talking to my collector friend, he mentioned that he had it. It's very neat. See if I can get it to focus. The leaves are very thin. This one came unrooted, and so it's only been here maybe a week and a bit. You can still see packing fuzz on parts of the vine. I have to get in there with tweezers. Right now, the leaves look very dry and dehydrated. There is some very nice, I'll try that again, see if I can get it too. There's some very nice texture on them, some veining. The blossoms are really beautiful. Yeah, and I'm just hoping it takes. It came with a peduncle on it, but that's not going to survive. No, that peduncle's like crisp. One could say it's toast. But this one has hung out. It hasn't kicked off. The vine tip died and a couple leaves died, and that happens when you buy cuttings occasionally. So we're going to see what happens. I've got this one in a solution. Of course, I'm not going to see any roots yet. It hasn't really been long enough, but we're hoping. Stand up for me, please. There we go. We're hoping that it finally takes and starts kicking in and growing, because this one's very cool, and I'm excited to have it in the collection. Again, this one came from a private anonymous collector, and this is Hoya exilis. All this chatter. So next up, we've got a Hoya that's been on my wish list for a very long time, well over a year. And I didn't see it come up for offer very often. And so I just kind of kept it on the list. This is Hoya chloroluca. Now, again, this was like the previous one, published in 1913 in Botanische Jahrbücher für Systematik, Pflanzengeschichte und Pflanzengeographie, the Botanical Yearbooks for Systematics, Plant History, and Plant Geography, by, of course, Friedrich Richard Rudolf Schlechter. The reason I wanted this puppy is because of the blooms. I like Bella blooms and Retusa blooms. These have that same kind of look, but instead of a red or purple corona in the center, these are bright green, like candy apple green. So yeah, I'm very excited. And I had an opportunity to pick up this plant as is. So I jumped all over it. It was very nicely rooted. Matter of fact, the seller suggested I might want to do a root trim, but it came in a miniature self-watering setup, and I just cut that apart and lifted out what I could. So yeah, the leaves are rather nondescript, pretty enough, but you're not buying this for the leaves. And this one it's got a lot of growth on it I'm just like, when I opened the box, it's like, oh, that's very cool. Yeah, that was a good call. So I'm psyched about this one. I have wanted this one for a very long time. And now I have it as part of the collection. So next I want is blooms, but we're going easy on you. We're not setting the bar too high yet. We will eventually though. So yeah, very happy this is here. Again, this came from an anonymous private collector, and this is Hoya chloroluca. down to the mystery, and I'm happy to have had help figuring this one out. Some of you may remember this plant that I purchased under the name Papua Hoya species 01. And it's a great plant. It's just amazing. It blooms. I finally had it bloom. They're very, very pretty. It grows. I mean, it grows like crazy. It's just insane. It branches readily. The leaves are really cool. Let's see if I can find some nice ones. Let's try up top here. They're very cute. They're little heart-shaped leaves. They're pubescent on both sides. Everything on this plant is pubescent. I've been so happy with this plant. And that anonymous grower that I mentioned, or have mentioned a couple times, dropped me a note the last time I showed this plant and said, I know you bought it under that name, and I think it's something else. And he was wonderful about it. He explained why he came to that conclusion and what he thought it was, and sent me pictures. I mean, it was great. Wonderful exchange of information. Actually, he was telling me, so sharing of information. And it comes down to his conclusion, and several other people, that this is an Oreosparte, Oreosparte. And you may not have heard of it either. I hadn't. But Oreosparte is cousin to Hoya, Dischidia, and Papua Hoya. And I'm going to put my family tree chart in, insert tree chart here, and see where it fits in. The kingdom Plantae, the phylum Streptophyta, the class Equisetospida, the subclass Magnoliidae, the order Gentianales, the family Apocynaceae, and the genus or genera of Dischidia, Hoya, Oreosparte, and Papua Hoya. So you can see that it's related to Hoyas and Dischidia and Papua Hoya. Now, the genus Oreosparte is native to Malaysia, to Malaya, Sabah, and Sarawak, and to Kalimantan and Sulawesi in Indonesia. It was first published in 1916 in Beihefte zum Botanischen Zentralblatt, Abteilung 2, Systematik Pflanzengeographie, Angewandte Botanik, the Supplements to the Botanical Central Journal, Section 2, Systematics, Plant Geography, and Applied Botany. And it was published by Friedrich Richard Rudolf Schlechter. So currently, there are only 3 named species of Oreosparte: Celebica, Parviflora, and Sabaensis. And this is neither one of those. So we have yet to find out what this is. But that collector was really cool and said, he had this growing, and would send me a cutting so I could look at them side by side and see how they compared. He also had another plant that was possibly related to this or this, but the leaves were different, and so he was referring to it by a different name. So let's take a look at those. So the first one, the one that he thought that he had that was similar to mine, looks like that. And when I look at the two of them side by side, because this one has these very heart-shaped, let's see if I can find, very heart-shaped leaves. And I'll put some close-ups so you can see just what I'm talking about. And so does this. So yes, I'm thinking that he was absolutely correct. And we are now referring to this as Oreosparte, formerly known as Papua Hoya species 01. Psyched to see what it's going to turn into, what it actually becomes at some point. But yeah, this one survived its shipping. It needs a little bit more moisture. It probably has not been here. It's only been here maybe 3 weeks, so it's probably not rooted yet. But everything has sparked back up after its journeys. So yeah, this is very cool. I love this plant. This has just grown like crazy. I would say if you have the opportunity to get one of these, you may see it under Papua Hoya species 01. Get one. I've got it bloomed, so I'll put a picture of the bloom over here. So definitely that's what I've narrowed this down to now. Oh, no growth. That's what I've narrowed this down to. So this is Oreosparte, formerly known as Papua Hoya species 01. Now, the one that he thought was related to this is what he's been calling roundleaf. So, and there it is. And if I can do this well, here are the two leaves side by side. And while this one does have some leaves that have a roundish appearance, for the most part, everything on this plant has heart-shaped leaves. And the leaves on this plant are decidedly round. So he referred to it, and now we have been referring to it as as Oreosparte species roundleaf. Very happy about all these. These are both very cool. This is a new thing to explore, a new genus to obsess over. So yes, very cool. Can recommend both of these highly. They're great little plants. While we were chatting about the other two Oreosparte, he mentioned that he had one of the named species, and would I be interested? And, of course. So this is Oreosparte sabaensis. Now, sabaensis is native to Malaysia, to the province of Sabah on the island of Borneo, near the city of Tawau. Was first collected in 2002 and published in 2020 in Wilde-Hoya, Mitteilungen aus dem Botanischen Garten und Museum Berlin-Dahlem, Messages from the Botanical Garden and Museum of Berlin-Dahlem, and was published by Michaela Rhoda and Nathaniel Simonson. This is very cool. I did not envision, because I bought this site. He said, I've got it, would you like it? And I said, I didn't even ask for pictures, and yes. So I bought it sight unseen. It's very pubescent, every bit of it. The underside of the leaves are more pubescent than the front, and I'll put some close-ups as usual. I did not imagine that the leaves were going to be this big. But I'm not disappointed. I just think this is really cool. Very excited to have this, since there's only 3 named species. And of course, now I'm on the hunt for the other 2, because I don't have enough Hoyas and their relatives already. This one has not been here very long. I've got this settled in there really well, so I don't see any roots yet. It's maybe been here 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks by the time this comes out. But I'm psyched about this. Very cool. I love my plants, so this is neat. Very happy that I got this from that anonymous private collector. And this is Oreosparte sabaensis. downside to my figuring out my mystery meant that I didn't really have any Hoyas anymore. And I was like, well, I want one. I want to have some Hoya. They're relatives. I collect the family. And that same collector mentioned that he had Hoya biculiana. And again, it's right now rather nondescript leaves. There is a peduncle up there which seems to still be green and healthy. The leaves have firmed up a bit since it first arrived, so I'm psyched. Now, Hoya bucaliana is native to Papua New Guinea, the Morobe province near Faso. It was first collected in 2011 by Nathaniel Simonson and her husband. And I can't find his first name. All I have is Jeff, or J, or F, not Jeff, F, Johonue. So it's Nathaniel Simonson Johonue and F Johonue. That's the way it was listed in the official records. So it was first published in 2020 in Wildenoia, Mitteilungen Botanischen Garten und Museum, Berlin-Dahlem. Messages from the Botanical Garden and Museum of Berlin-Dahlem, like the Oreosparte sabaensis. And it was named after Gunilla Buyckell, Bykulle, and I haven't had the time yet to do the research on who that person was. When I do, I will let you know, probably in some kind of update about this, because I want this one to thrive. It's, as I said, got neat leaves, a little bit of texture to them at this point. The backs of the leaves do not seem to be as pubescent, but they seem to be slightly. The vine is rather thin, and also very firm. It clearly was winding around something, but I don't think it'll take to, winding too much, even up here. Like this is firm, so we're not going to force this issue. Let's see if I can get this one to show up better. There's the back of the leaf in there. It's kind of a weird angle, I know, but we're doing what we can. Let's see if that helps. So there's the back of the leaf. Yeah, I'm very psyched about this. I do want this one to grow because it's so thin-vined and thin-leaved. I've got it in a little bit more moisture, so I'm hoping that this is going to take off. I've got it in gentle light in my typical self-watering setup. I've been trying something new with this. I was using plastic cups that I poked holes in the bottom, but I received a shipment from another seller, and they found these little 2-inch net pots. So I've been trying that and seeing how those work. So far, so good. I'll keep you posted. I would imagine, though, that the little plastic cups are cheaper, but it did the same thing, and these are very, very much more reusable. So yeah. Again, this one came from an anonymous private collector. I'm really glad to have it in my collection. And this is Hoya bucaliana. The question for the comments this week is going to be kind of a multi-parter. Anybody else out there have the species formerly known as Hoya species 01? Curious to hear that. And does anybody out there grow any Oreosparte or Hoya? Be interested in hearing that. And if you don't, are you interested in giving another Hoya relative a try? Whether it's Dischidia or Hoya or Oreosparte. Yeah, I'd be very interested in that as well. I'm excited about growing these, so want to see what other people have to say. So say something in the comments below. And Dave told me to tell you all that he wears his hat better than I wear mine, that his hat is cooler. Y'all can be the judge of that one and fight it out in the comments. As usual, I want to thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me this week's end. Please remember to click that thumbs up like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. They're really important to the growth of the channel. If a lot of the products that you've seen me use are available through my Amazon storefront, there's a link in the description below. I get a small commission on the sale of those items, but it doesn't affect your price at all. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click on the link in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page, or down here there's a thanks button, and YouTube handles everything through the thanks button. As usual, there's going to be links to a couple more videos over here on the side, and please enjoy the rest of your week's end.